Welcome to Braven, the podcast where we make sales not just a job but a thrilling adventure. I'm David Pereira, your guide and host on this journey through the dynamic world of sales. So grab your headphones and a cup of coffee because we're about to embark on a journey packed with insights, laughs, and maybe even a few surprises along the way. This is Braven, where sales meets excitement. How's it, everyone? Thank you for joining in today. Today I'm by myself, as you can see. Today I thought I would discuss the topic of trust in sales. I think it is it's one of those topics that doesn't get addressed very often from at least what I've read and what's out there. But I think it's very important to build that level of trust with your prospects, with your customers, because it allows them to open up a little bit. And it's not about being schmoes, it's about having that genuine trust and that you have their best interests at heart, or you have their company's best interests at heart, and ideally both. So I don't think I'm going to be talking about maybe tips, but I'm going to talk about maybe a little bit of what I do, and various factors that I think people can be doing and maybe stuff that I can be doing better. The first is know your topic. I think understand what you're talking about. If you don't know something, say it. In many meetings, if I don't have the answer right there, I just say to the client, listen, I don't know the answer right now, can I go check with the technical team? Don't be worried about admitting when you don't know something. I think people get very worried about that you have to know everything, and you've got a limited amount of knowledge. Know your lane. If you don't know it, just admit it to the clients and come back to them. They'll appreciate it because you're not trying to be smose, and I think that is a very important thing to note down. The second thing I think with knowing, coming across as professional, very important, from the way that you dress to the way that you introduce yourselves to the individuals, to the research that you've done around that individual and the company, very important. Don't come into a meeting, especially if you're meeting someone for the first time, where you don't know who they are. That's not, with the amount of resources that are available right now, there is no reason why you shouldn't know who someone is. That's absolutely ridiculous. That you should have a little understanding of what the company does, who they are, who the individual is in the company, and a basic idea of what their responsibilities are. That's sorry guys, we're busy being knocked on the door. So we're going to speak louder so they know that we're not available. I think the idea of just doing your research and being well prepared, it's something that's a bit undervalued nowadays, and something that all salespeople should be doing and researching properly. Whether someone else is doing that for you, whether you're leveraging AR, whether you're just doing the hard research, do your research before you meet the clients. It builds that level of trust that you are professional. The other side is, whilst you're having a conversation with the client, admit your downfalls. Be it a business, or be it yourself, or be it your team, or whatever that might be, know your pros and cons as an organization, and don't be scared to talk about your competitors. Don't be in a position where you never downplay your competitors. They're competitors for a reason. They might be doing well as well. They might do things better than you. You need to ensure that you are creating enough value for the clients so that they choose you on merit, and they're not choosing you because you're trying to trick them into a deal. There's no long-term strategy of doing things like that. So I think from a trust perspective, if someone asks you about a competitor, again, it goes back to research. Know about your competitors, know what they're good at, know what they're bad at. It's very common nowadays not very common, it's de facto standard that companies normally need 3 quotes before they can actually go through. So help them, advise them, say, listen, this is someone else that you can go talk to that has a relatively similar product. I know it may sound counterintuitive, but if it helps that individual get to the decision faster, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you help them? You should have sufficient trust in yourself that you're delivering enough value. And I think by that factor, that your customer is going to trust you to come forward with different things. I've seen with one of my clients that, he starts asking me questions about stuff that I know I don't sell. He just asked for my opinion. He asked, do I know anyone in the industry? And we've got that relationship now where I know lots of people in the IT industry, and he just comes to me and says, okay, cool, do you know anyone that can help me with this problem? Because he trusts me that I know what I'm talking about. I think the last one that is quite important is the idea of your online profile. I know that I'm talking about something that I'm not necessarily good at. I know Cass is really smiling at me because I know it's something that I need to work on, because I need to actually set time aside where unfortunately or fortunately nowadays, first impressions count. And if you're going to be meeting with someone and that person is a professional, you're expecting them to do at least a 2-minute research on who the hell you are. So if you had to Google your name, what comes up? You know, is it good things, bad things? Is there going to be negative reviews, positive reviews? Is there going to be nothing, or is there going to be something? Is it an article that you've written? What is going to come up if someone Googles your name? And keep that in mind. And Google your name often. I do it every now and again, and I make sure that I'll try to make sure that I'm first. And I try and make sure that what's coming up, it speaks to who I am as an individual and speaks to what type of value I can introduce into my clients' lives. So take that as an important note. I know I said that was the last thing, but I think there's one more that I'd like to talk about, which is the consequences of building that trust. We saw it yesterday with one of our other clients that we're we're helping them with virtual reality training. Quite a fun project. And we got into a conversation where the prospect or client trusts us enough where he just opened up completely about what his budget is. He opened up completely about what he's willing to spend on, how he wants to spend it. And I think if you can get that right level of trust with your prospects, they will be a lot more open to you. They'll share a lot more, and consequence of that is that you can help them a lot better. Because if they're willing to open up a lot more, you can help them a lot better, and you guys can both achieve the same goal. And it only comes with that level of trust. It's like any form of relationship. Try and build that level of trust, because you're going to have a lot more fruitful partnerships, you're going to have a lot more fruitful clients, and they'll end up doing a lot more business with you. And that's this guy's opinion, but I do think that that's true. It's from things that I've read, the few things that are available online around trust. Don't trust most. Try and build these long-term relationships that can actually last, because that's the most long-term relationships are the most profitable relationships. Whether you are working for this business and you're moving to other businesses as an individual salesperson, or whether you're a company owner, if you can build that level of trust with individuals, you do have these long-term relationships and get very fruitful. So yeah, thought I'd bring that as a topic today. I hope you guys have a brilliant day after you watch this. I know it will be better after watching this, and until next time, thanks.